Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you would please type the number one in the chat box so we know that you can. Hey, Brenda, Jim, afternoon. Hey, Alex, happy belated birthday. Thank you very much for that. Kevin, afternoon to you. Thanks, Jeff. Hey, Andres. Good, Andrew. Thank you for that. Hey, Les, how you doing? Morning, Tom. Yep, camera's going next. Appreciate that. Good morning, Helen. I just like to get it working first. Make sure we've got volume happening. And then I'll move things around on the screen to make it all fit. And then we'll start our camera up next. It should be coming now. Oh, it's there. It's just closed. There I am. I'm here live. Okay, no Memorex here, guys. All right. Well, I hope you're all having a great day. As we get started, keep in mind that everything we look at is for education. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. If you find something you like, anything, make sure it fits your own personal risk profile and risk tolerance. Today, I can announce that we officially are launched on YouTube Live at the same time. So you can either watch us here on Zoom or you can watch us through YouTube Live as well. And we are connected from YouTube Live over to the brokerage firm Tradier. They have an education platform called The Hub, and we are streaming this live to their audience right now. So welcome everybody from YouTube and from Tradier, as well as all of our loyal fans here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So as we get going here, here's our agenda for today. We'll go through our follow us page. We'll look at today's trades. We'll go through economic reports, market review, upcoming trainings, weekly training topic, and your stocks in review. All right, so this kind of gives us a schedule of where we're at for the next hour. Here is our follow us page. Make sure you are following along. You'll find us on all the major social platforms out there. The trading post is brand new. Andrew, can you drop a link both here and in the YouTube chat, which will then I think transfer over to Tradier, but drop that in if you would please. And that is our newsletter, guys. It comes out 5 days a week. We've started adding a daily process to that every day now that we have a different topic in there. It's got earnings, what's happening now, hot stocks to watch. Definitely things you want to keep your eye on, but it is not a standard newsletter, meaning you don't get automatically subscribed to. You have to say, yes, I want it. Excuse me, and it is free. So there's no cost to it. So by all means, take advantage of it. Today's trades, what trades did you do? Drop those trades in now. I'd love to see what you did. If you haven't done anything today, it could be over the last couple of days. Funded, non-funded, it really doesn't matter. We're going to call everything non-funded. We do not discuss funded trades here. I'm not licensed to do so. So everything we do is considered non-funded. There we go. Alex said the newsletter is great. Fantastic. I appreciate it. Brenda, I've got your numbers here. Believe it or not, I saw the emails today, so I'm going to share that in just a moment. Jeff said $223 on the NQ, 4 trades in total. Wow. 4 trades, total time, 33 seconds. $223 on NQ, which is NASDAQ. Fantastic, Jeff. Great job. Friday, one SPXW.X made 5,700. This is Jim. Made $5,720. Nice. 232%. Monday bought 16 SPY calls, sold 13, made $133 or 8%, still holding 3 SPY calls at 1203 worth $126. Nice job. Really good job there, Jim. No trades for Will today. You must be busy, Will, because I know you normally do, a lot. Patty said Tesla, $90, one contract with too tight of a trailing stop. Okay, but it's great that you recognize it, Patty. You made money on it, too tight of a stop. You can learn from that. And you knew it was too tight, right? So that's fantastic. But good job that you locked in some profits on it. Trip said scalps on AMD for 25.9% in 5 minutes. And that was on AMD, and Amazon at 7.8% for 3 minutes. Okay. So it's funny, Trip, that your trade times were 5 minutes for one, 3 minutes for another, which are both Fibonacci numbers. That meant you were in for a total of 8 minutes. Oh, wait, that's a Fibonacci number 2. Go figure. Guys, the trades that Trip is talking about, the trades that he is dropping in here right now, what I want you to do, Andrew, can you drop in a link for Mastermind Week? Guys, we've put together where you're going to have access. We have three masterminds, three different levels of masterminds. You're going to have access to all three of those masterminds, to live trainings in there. Nothing is recorded. It's all live. You get to see what we do week in and week out. You're going to get access to those for free for an entire week. For an entire week. So there's Trading You, there's Mastermind Group, and then there's our highly coveted Inner Circle, which is an invite only to be asked to come in there. And you get access to all of them. So register on this link. I spoke to Amelia this morning. She said, we can't even count how many people are registering to come to these right now for us. So take advantage of them, folks. Andrew just dropped that link in there. Going to be fun to see with all the new folks. Exactly, Will. You're right. Tom says, so how does Tripp get in and out of trade so quickly? You know, Tom, I am so glad you said that, because I brought up Mastermind Week for a reason. I didn't intend on talking about it yet. I brought it up because Tripp does these scalp trades that he's going to be doing, if the market sets it up, of course, live from one of our trading rooms. From our Inner Circle in our trading room, he's going to go over, a little bit of the trade setup that's in there. And I'm not sugarcoating this, guys. This is not something that you go, oh yeah, I saw one of those. Man, I got it. I can do that now. No, you can't. There's a lot of little nuances to it that you have to learn, but you'll get to see the process of what he does and how he does it. I'm going to tell you right now, he does not use a standard chart to do this with. You'll find out when you get into the live trainings with it. Rough week last week for Alex. Friday was great, but I stuck in a bullish swing trade going sideways, so I appreciate the get out of jail free card. Plus, I got off a few bullish trades after Powell's speech. Good for you. Open calls on RCL today. That's moseying along sideways. Meh, we'll see. Yeah, all right. Excellent. Good. So just to kind of wet your whistles a little bit, this is TOS. This is a printout from TOS. Okay. And this came in from Brenda. Okay. I think I can zoom in a little bit more on it. Let's see. Yeah, I can go a little more on it. All right. So you can see this was 8/25, which is today, right? This August 25th, today, 10:42. I don't know what our time zone is. Brenda, are you in Eastern, or what time zone are you at? Because it's going to be set to the individual's time zone. So single sell 500 contracts. I'm sorry, the buy is down here. So 525 at 1029, buy 500 contracts to open of the SPY, all 25 weekly, 646 puts at $1.98. Okay. Sold them 29 to 42.39. 13 minutes later, another Fibonacci number, go figure. Sold them at $2.20, all 500, for a total of $11,000 today. All right. Guys, Brenda has come so far in her trading from where she was. She is doing phenomenal. I had taken this out of an email she had sent to share with you guys today, and then I get another email from Amelia that she had grabbed this, and she sent this off to me. And this was, if you look at it, it is all on 8/19, 8/10/19, 8/19, 8/19, 8/19. This is all in one day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 trades. Doesn't mean we did 15 ins and outs. 400 contracts, right? But 100, buy to open 100, buy to open 300, close 400, right? But I want you to see, this is in one day, following the systems that we use. And what is she trading? SPY, QQQ, right? Standard stuff. And this is SPY, because you can see right here, S&P 500 ETF. $67,800 on the 19th, right? Absolutely freaking phenomenal, right? This is what everyone should be striving for. And I don't care that you do this many trades. If I can get you to do one SPY trade a day, right? Or at least looking at the SPY every single day. It doesn't mean every day you'll get a setup, but at least where it's in your radar each and every day, that is so important. To me, I think it's one of the best positions any trader out there, every trader out there should be focused on. So Brenda, congrats. Keep those emails coming. I'll share them whenever I see them. Just love it. Absolutely love it. Um, let's see. Sign Brenda up to teach. There you go, Patty. um, three good gains and a small cost, Will said. Very good. List. Yep, absolutely. She did great there. I legged in to buy more as the price decreased, is what Brenda had said. So there you go. And she's in East Coast time, right? So it is Eastern time. Jim said, thanks, Brenda. Way to go. So um, today I took a Netflix trade. I did something a little bit unconventional. It's not the way that I normally trade. We're looking at a 1 minute chart here. And the reason we're looking at a 1 minute chart is I don't have a tick chart on here, but this was Netflix today, right? So Netflix had a great move. We go and look at a daily chart of Netflix. We look at a daily chart on Netflix. What a great bounce, right? We had a low down here today of 11.99. You've got a 1200 level, a 1205. You got a blue zone in there. And we had our moving averages. So we got 1205 as the fib line. We got 1213 and 1210 were our two moving averages, our 8 and 21. All right. So we blew above that. And if you look at how we opened today on Netflix on a 5 minute chart, we gapped down. We smacked right into that 1200 level and we took off. We didn't really get a good pullback here. If you look at a 1 minute chart, same scenario. We got a little bit of a pullback on the one. I was also following, I had my standard 4 pack open on TradeStation, and I had a 55 tick chart. So 55 ticks, what does that mean? 55 trades and the candle is finished. That could take 30 seconds. It could take 1 second. It could be 5 candles, adds up to 1 second. You get a candle, 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 candle. They were all at the exact same second because 55 trades had, you had 300 trades in 1 second. It can't form in one candle. When 55 trades in a row trigger, it prints a candle. It'll bounce until it gets 55 and then it goes to the next one. So I was playing around with it a little bit this morning. I only did one contract on Netflix, but it was about, what did I do? Just under $15 was the cost of the contract at the time. So overall, it was a really good setup on Amazon, on Netflix. Sorry, I did not believe that we were pulling back at this point. That smack into that 100-point level was wonderful. The breakout came in there great. If you look at, here, let me zoom in on a little bit. It'll be easier this way. Here. If you look at here, we pushed up and we closed just shy. We pierced through. So what did we do? We chipped away at the ice, right? A little ice chip and hammer. We broke away. And the bulls basically said, hey, you can break through if you want now. We pulled back, came down on the next candle. We had a slightly higher low. Let me show you what I mean there. We had a low. We had a slightly higher low. And then a slightly higher low right in there as we broke out. Again, pullback wasn't great, but it was 936 was the 55 tick candle is where we were able to get in and take that trade based on that. So, but again, some of my experience has helped me with that. Some of my ability to trade futures and using tick charts has helped me with that. That is why I do believe it's good to have a lot of variation of availability of what you can use in your analysis. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Alex says, dang, go, Brenda. I'd love to know what setup she's looking at to trade. Maybe one day. Okay. So based on that, there was a Netflix trade. That's all I've done today was Netflix. If we go and look at last week, which was, what were the dates of last week? I am so far behind on recording what I need to do for Power Option Plays videos. The first day of the week last week was the 18th, right? So 18 to 22. So this was last week. $700 winner on Broadcom, 16,000 winner on Booking, $2,800 cost on the Depot, and MasterCard was an $1,800 win. So if you take it all together, basically wipe out the MasterCard, the Home Depot trade wipes out MasterCard and Broadcom, and we're up about 16 grand last week on Booking. We don't take a lot of trades on Booking, but when Booking moves, boy, it moves. right? So we had a good week last week. I'm very happy with our numbers, our results from last week for sure. Um, Alex said, when there's a beautiful setup but not enough open interest in the 65 to 85 delta range, you prefer to go to the higher or lower delta, go farther out as long as the option time, or just pass on the trade. So, Alex, if you're referring to booking, you're not going to find enough open interest. You're not going to find really pretty looking candles on a 1 minute. It's just experience that I've been doing it for so long. You're talking in general. In general, I tend to pass. I mean, if I had to, I might look at it out at a further out option. But in general, I tend to pass. And part of the problem comes in you're trading on a Monday and it's a fairly new option. They only wrote it on Thursday. You may not have anything in there for open interest or a whole lot in there for open interest. But I tend to pass. And that's why we go through the analysis, Alex, you've seen in power option plays where we dig in and go through the options to make sure we can find open interest, find not a very large bid ask spread, find where it's not overvalued in price. And if I can't get what I'm looking for, more than likely I pass. But for me, it's still Netflix, Tesla, Amazon. Absolutely loving Amazon. I think there's a phrase, and I'm going to butcher it in Italian. It's Duzzi Bazzo, crazy in the head, right? Now, I don't know. It's probably Sicilian, not Italian, but I think you are crazy if you're not focused on Amazon. And I don't have all the trades on here, guys. There's still, I believe, one more that we've done. But from July 7th, 7 trades on Amazon. We lost 200. We made 200. So that's a wash, those first two. We're up about 1,000. We're up another, call it two more thousand. That's three. There's another 4,000. That's eight. Call that a wash. Put that in for nothing because we had, fudged some numbers there. So we got eight and three is 11. We're up $11,000 on Amazon from July, right? Absolutely loving Amazon, right? Right now. They are crushing it for us. And there are others like this, right? Adobe, we've done okay with, nothing great. We've done okay. One trade. We don't have a lot of them in there. AMD, I think we've got two. So we made 3,000, lost 200. Okay, I'll take that, right? Coinbase made 11,000, almost 12,000, 11,500 on that. Broadcom, 3,700 bucks. Costco has been okay, not great. We've got two of them, about $2,000. CrowdStrike. Oh wait, hold on a sec. Go back. Nope, two more arrows down here. So 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10, about 10 grand. So they've actually better than I thought we were doing there. We looked at CrowdStrike. It's about $7,000 there. Carvana. Oh, Rob, you're losing money on Carvana. Okay, you're right. And I'm purposely doing this, right? We're down 3,000, we're down $400, we're down five grand, so $5,500 we'll call it on CVNA. Is it okay? Well, I don't know. Let's keep going. DoorDash, we lost 468, we lost 390. We made 1,300. This one trade makes up for these two. There's 390 plus, there's 300, 3,500. So there's 4 grand of profit in there plus, right? Goldman Sachs, I don't think we got a whole lot on. So we made 11 grand, we lost 5 grand. So we're net positive of 6. Home Depot, you get the idea, folks, right? I mean, we're killing it with our numbers. And it's easy to show the spreadsheet and show the numbers, but when you look at it on the chart and see how often we're taking these trades, I think that's what really shines. I think that's what really jumps out is there. I mean, look, come on Eli Lilly, killing it. Now we got lucky. This was a swing trade. We got lucky. We got into a day trade here, not a swing trade. Had we been in a swing trade and we got in that trade at 762 and the next day it opens at 677, we would have been just massive profit on it. So we had a good trade there, but that next day that gap down was not foreseeable, that's for sure. There's one more trade down there. I see another green arrow. 3,000, 5,000, minus one, $4,000. Meta's been okay. It's only one trade. And again, I don't have all of them on. There's the last couple of days. From last week, I don't have anything on here yet. 3, 6, and 4, about 10. Oracle, SPY, and then one trade on Tesla. That's it. right? So from my, for me, focusing on just that handful of stocks like the Tesla, like the Amazon, like Netflix, like Nvidia. Still love Nvidia. It's not part of our power option plays any longer. But okay, it's there we go. But we're talking about $180 stock, right? The last time we were tracking it, we did $5,300 on a swing trade here, right? So over, and then those arrows, these red arrows were the next three exits. This was our entry, exit one, exit two, exit three, were the arrows. Um, yeah. So overall, not too shabby. All right. Congrats on the trades that you guys are putting out there. Very much appreciated. Let's go take a look at some economic reports. So what do we got happening here? First thing I see, Mohammed El Iran says Jerome Powell hasn't looked forward enough on interest rates. If you read the story, which I did, and there's a video with it if you want to see it as well. This is on Forex Factory, by the way. That he didn't cut interest rates fast enough. He's looking at data. The data is too far behind. He's not a good Fed because of that, and so forth. And I agree, he's not, and the data is too far behind. Especially when data comes out 2 days after. No, let me rephrase that. Especially when changes to the data come out 2 days after the Fed makes a decision based on the data, which is a problem. So we've got today new home sales were 10 o'clock pre-market, so I don't really care. Let me just get this started here. It's my drawing tools. So I don't really care, but it's pre-market. I mean, it's post-market rather. Sorry. So, but it's already passed. But this was an important report. Why? Because this could have affected a trade that you're in, right? If you haven't heard, Buffett put $800 million into Lennar and some into D.R. Horton. So he's increased stake massively on those because he thinks home building is going to take off this year or the next couple of years. We've got some 8:30 reports. I don't really care, especially they're orange. They're pre-market. It won't matter to me unless you're doing futures. 10 o'clock, big report. Important report, rather. They're orange, so not as much impact. On Thursday, nothing Wednesday. On Thursday, we've got GDP and we've got unemployment, right? So definitely Fed reports, but they're pre-market. Could they drive the market? Yes. You're in a swing trade. You're in a futures trade. Yes. The prelim GDP price index for the quarter over quarter, don't care. Pending home sales, I don't expect anything big to happen before we get interest rate cuts at all. FOMC member Waller speaks. Waller can open his mouth up at times and have things come out, especially now there's some turbulence going on there. There's questions of did Powell violate some rules, lie to Congress? Is he going to be terminated? Who's Trump going to push into the next person? Waller was picked by Trump, right? So that's important to keep in mind. But at 6 p.m., markets close. It doesn't really matter. 8:30 in the morning on Friday, good report. PCE price index, but markets closed. 10 o'clock, units of measure for consumer, revised UOM. For consumer sentiment, unless something wacky comes out of there, you're not going to see much. Look for red reports that happen during open market hours. Those are the most important ones. Do we have a lot right now? We don't. When you've got the FOMC like we did last week, that's important, right? And keep in mind with what's happening right now with FOMC. It's right here. What's happening right now with FOMC, if you look down here on the bottom, it shows keeping our current rate, which is 425 to 450 basis points, keep it current. There's a 13.7% chance. There is an 86% chance we're going to drop a quarter. Okay. And there's no chance we're going to drop down lower than that for this month, right? Which is the September report. Then you got October and the lights, right? And you could see that you could play around with the different numbers. All right. There is a 42% chance of a half point cut. There's a 50% chance of a 25 basis point cut, and there's almost no chance that it stays the same, 425 to 450, because we won't be there next month, right? So they got different calculations in there. But overall, and you can look at all the months in here if you like, I just don't find the ones that go further out are really valuable to me. But very little chance that we're not going to see a rate cut. Then once you see that rate cut, now we're going to see housing become more important of a factor. This is on Forex Factory, Brenda, yes. So forexfactory.com is the website. You can see it in my toolbar up here that we use. There's plenty of places you can get it from. It's just the one that I'm very comfortable with. But yeah, you can get it anywhere. You can get a lot of this stuff on brokers as well. What I like is if you say, well, I don't know what preliminary GDP is, QQ, you can click on this details, open it up, and it'll tell you a little bit about it. If there's a website that you have to go to, here, full details, go to the US prelim, GDP, QQ, quarter over quarter. Right? What's the history of them? So I like that there's some things inside of there. The funky thing is you got to find that X to shut it down. Right? So just something to keep in mind. All right. Fantastico. Let's go back over to our document and let's get into the market review. So the S&P 500. All right. We're on a nope, I got to click off, click on. That's hands off, hands off. All right, there we go. So let me drag this out a little bit to the right. I don't want to cover up the numbers that are on the far right. Okay. So for those of you that are brand spanking new that are not familiar with looking at my charts, what you're looking at are Fibonacci's, right? For those of you that have been with me for a very long time, this is a good refresher. We go over something like this almost every week anyway. So basically we've got the start of our fib was down here, the V bottom, that V top, or swing low and swing high. That's where we were. We've got other sets of lines drawn in there that are more advanced. I'm not going to dig too deep into those this week, which give us our ABCs over here and give us extensions. And we look for confluences like this of line over line to help us gauge the value or the strength of that level, right? So if I bring this out just a little bit, let's unscrunch it. And now let's bring it down a little, all right? I want to see what's above. Okay. So right now, we had a great move to the all-time high of 64.8134, and that was on August 15th. On Friday, we had a high of 64.78 versus 64.81. So we got right up in there. Great move on Friday. Fantastic. I remember going over the analysis on Friday for our weekend newsletter. Trading market intelligence report, and fantastic move. Am I upset, disappointed, bothered, worried, concerned about the pullback here? No, guys. Remember, I talked about this last week. When we look at last Monday was where? That's Wednesday. Last Monday was here, right? So we had a pullback in there. Not concerned. If you're in power option plays. This was on Tuesday. I'd already done the pop report on Monday for power option plays. Tuesday, we closed through here. Wednesday, we closed through here. Thursday, pierced through here rather. Thursday, we actually closed through it. And I had said there that I had counted, it was either 5 or 6 calls on my cell phone, messages, texts on my cell phone of, oh my God, is the world coming to an end? Right? With that breakthrough in that close below, which my reply is no. And then we went through the analysis of you've got a very strong line here with this 618 line on top of the fib, so it's a very strong level. We were in a neutral bias at that point. We've got another important level with this fib line, which gave us a previous swing low, a higher swing low. So a lot of importance there. Our 55 would be near that as well if we broke down. So more value, more strength for my confluence there. So I'm not really concerned with it. And then Friday comes with that great news and that great run. Not an all-time high, but man, we pushed right up into it. So are we sitting pretty right now? We are. Are we going to break out? Yes. Is this a more complicated level to break out of? Yes, it is. Why? Because it's a double line. Think of it like this. You've got a ceiling above you. More than likely, it's made out of sheetrock. It's one piece of 5/8 sheetrock. Can you punch through it with your hand? You're going to hurt your hand a bit, but yes, you can punch through it, right? What if I put a second piece of sheetrock over that? Can you punch through it? Very unlikely. Very unlikely. Could you do some damage to it? Yeah, but you're going to hurt yourself, right? It's a stronger level. But once you get through and there's a hole in there, it's real easy, right? We're going to run into some resistance here because there's two things happening, two pieces of sheetrock. If there was a third line, and you could count that right there, the recent swing high, that's a third piece of sheetrock up there. There's more value, more strength, more concern of being able to get through easily. It's not a weak place to break through. But we break through that 6504 level, we're going to look for the retest and the bounce. And this, if we take the drawing tool, breakout, pull back, and bounce. I don't need a high breakout. I don't need to come all the way back to that line. I just need there to be a breakout. I don't care how high it was. Pull back and a bounce. Right? That's what I'm looking for. That bounce is critical, and set your stops up down below that support, what is now support, what for today is a resistance. Right? But if we get above here, this now becomes our support level. Right? That's what we're looking for, that breakout. If it does break out of that 6504, we're looking at 6634 is our next resistance. That gives us a double stacking on our ABC pattern. And then from there, it's that 6765 level is the next upside target, which is a pure hardened fib line, Fibonacci level. All right, so that's just a standard fib line or price value in math of where we look at, just like 4181 is, right? And then this line down here, this 5473 is a midpoint between those two. So downside, we're looking back down at that 6402 level, right, which is our Fibit, confluence of the 8 and the 21, and then we're back down to 6,300 from there, right? And then as long as we maintain above that 6213 level, we don't fail below that recent swing low, even by a penny, just stay above, and I'm not concerned with it. I'll manage my positions. I'm not jumping into bull positions if we're down in here, but I'm really not that concerned. The only time we had closed below this entire move that had taken place in here from the moving average cross, the only time we closed below the 21 was here before we got there on Thursday. And then Friday was a gap and go all day. Just wonderful day to be out there trading. Wonderful day for it. So overall, loving where the S&P is right now. Overall bullish bias. We're at a rank of 3. We're in the middle of nowhere, so there's nothing really for us to work off of yet as far as lines. But you've got the marching orders. Pull back and bounce out the 6402, break out of the 6504, retest, bounce, and now we're looking for trades based on what the S&P is doing. And for those of you that are newer here, if you're the type of trader that you struggle and things kind of go against you, and you're really uncertain as to what's happening and the whys and the whos and the wheres, you can trade against the overall market condition. You can, but it's not wise if you don't have the experience to do so. And what I mean by that is 70 to 80% of all stocks will move in the direction of the S&P 500. So why are you fighting that trend and going against it? Oh, but there's nothing to trade then today. So what? You don't trade today then. That's okay. Or do paper trades. Sharpen your skills. Learn how to trade that contrarian move, but only trade in the direction of the S&P. We were at a friend's house on Saturday night for a barbecue. Someone had one of the people there that we know very well brought a friend with them, and he and I got talking. He was a stockbroker many years ago. He owns a bunch of SPY, and he started asking about covered calls, and I went through my strategy of what I do with covered calls. He said, "It's amazing. I love that." He said, "You're not in covered calls for more than a day?" I said, "Nope. On SPY, I only trade them for today. That's it. Because I don't want SPY taken away, so I only do it on bearish days. Market's going down, I'll sell covered calls. I'll collect the premium. I have very little anticipation or expectation it's going to go against me. It expires worthless, and then market bounces tomorrow. I don't do it for a couple of days. So what? Right? You trade what's available. Right? You got 2 cars at home. You can't drive them both. You got to pick one. It's no different. Pick which one you want to trade. Pick which one you want to be with. All right. Let's go back in here. Upcoming trainings, guys. We got Inner Circle coming up on August 25th, which is tonight. Mastermind Group is tomorrow. On August 27th is Monster Market Movers, and then we're back into next month from there. Power Option Plays, covered call, e-mini on regular schedule, as is Power Hour and Trading Coaches Playbook. Okay? Hey, Andrew, let's get on here, if you would, please, the Mastermind Week. Maybe put a new header in here or something for Mastermind Week. And let's list out the dates of it, if you would. So I can remember to tell everybody about it. Great, I appreciate it. Gwen said, "I've been traveling during the daytime and have not been able to trade. I'm finding TradeStation lagging with the numbers in P&L. Though one time I traded, it was time to exit. I saw the profit when I closed the trade. There was a break even. Thank God it wasn't a loss. Have you had that experience with the numbers not showing aligning with the closed numbers? I'm using satellite internet. TradeStation seems to think that it may be the issue. I'm not seeing that on TradeStation, Gwen. That would probably be my last straw with them. I am very disappointed with them as a company for the last 2 years. It's my, let's just call it laziness, what it is, okay? Of not wanting to spend the hours to get that well versed with TOS that I can close my eyes and just place the trade on TradeStation. But at some point, I'm going to have to dig in and do it. So if I was starting all over again, TOS is who I would be using. TOS is Think or Swim for those of you that are unfamiliar with them. Um, yeah, TOS's boss. There you go, Brenda. Yeah, I know a lot of individuals here use it. My own team, Will, Trip, Amelia, they're all TOS users. It's funny, in our inner circle last week, I put together something based on an AI that gave a moving average crossover strategy with all of the TOS code to drop into TOS, so you don't even have to know how to program it. It did it all for you. I opened a new account and will transfer my money. And I'm not saying you should transfer, Gwen. What I'm saying is, if I was starting today, TOS is who I would start with. I have a TOS account. I just don't use it. Covered SPY, Qs type stuff is what I've got in there, so I don't have to manage it. It's long term. It just sits, right? And it's really there because it was the account Dad had left me. All right. Where are we at? Yeah, Trader Will said think script is complex. AI helps a ton. Yep, I bet. SPX cash flow secrets. Guys, if you're not familiar, Brandon Wendell, who is a certified market technician, CMT, basically he has a PhD in technical analysis, right? Brandon has forgotten more about um, he's forgotten more about what goes on with technical analysis than I could ever hope to learn. All right. He is brilliant when it comes to it. Brandon, and I'm looking on my phone right now. Brandon has a tech service for SPX, and I won't have anything till from except for Friday of last week. I'm going to have to go back to, right? So what happens is with SPX cash flows, right? It's SMS alerts, so it's text message, so it's to my cell phone, right? Step by step credit spread training, which is inside of the members area. Foundational trainings. He does a live Q&A every quarter and ongoing support. You could ask questions as well right from the platform. Um, let's see. So he's got down as an example. Um, so I've got here 5-minute demand, and he gave the price range from this price to this price from August 20th at 10:55. Supply is at this level today, and Brandon trades off supply and demand. Right? An aggressive iron condor is selling with the 63.20, 63.25, and the 63.90, 95 for 40 cents to 45 cents with an 86% pop, POP. So 86% POP, probability of profit. So he is giving you a trade that has a 14% chance of going against you. Right? And I'm going into all of this detail because we are offering you the opportunity to get 1 month of this training for $9. Right? It's a few $100s normally for the month's training. You get your first month of it. If you like it, great. You can continue. If you don't, send us an email. Say, I don't want it anymore. We'll cancel it. But $9, guys, you'll get trades almost every day. It really depends what's happening. You get a Fed day, you're not going to get trades that day. He's going to say, listen, too aggressive today. We're not going to place a trade. Right? And he'll kind of leave it at that. Yeah, I don't know, Will. Why not 8 or 13? You can ask Amelia that. I didn't pick the numbers for it. um, hey, Len, so you cannot see my chart. So right now, there's not a chart up. I've got an SPX cash flow secrets page up. So that's what you should be seeing right now. All right. So weekly training topic. How to trade the September Fed rate announcement. So we've already talked about the Fed. I shared it with you. So we've gone through a little bit already of it of what's there. But guys, that you can go to the website right here. I don't know if I can drop it in there or not. Let's see if it lets me send a text, a message to everybody. Everyone. Okay, let's see. I just don't know if you can copy it. It looks like it's a link. So you can go right there. You can save that book, bookmark that. And that is where you can see what's going on with the CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They're the options, in charge of all the options stuff, the options, Oprah, the options markets. So what's happening with the with Fed right now? You clicked on the link and it worked. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. And I know Jim and Will and Trip and many others are they look at this stuff regularly, and you should. You keep it gives you an idea of what's happening out there. I asked for it many times here. Today I happened to open it because it was today's topic was trading around the Fed announcement. Do I believe we're going to see a cut? My personal opinion says we're going to see a quarter point cut. We have three Fed meetings left till the end of the year. You've got September, October, and December. There is none in November. Okay. Generally, now this is generally, you do not see rate cuts or hikes around Christmas time. Generally, because they don't want to drive the market one direction or another. I don't know if we're going to be that fortunate this year to be able to do that. Meaning, I don't know if Powell is going to be able to justify not dropping rates for 2 months in a row because there'll be no meeting in November, and then in December we pass on the December meeting, and we've got to wait until the Jan meeting until January before the next rate decision of we're going to cut or increase that. I don't believe we'll see an increase. I think we're overdue for it. And I know there are some that have different opinions of it. What's going on with housing and pricing right now, and just what people have to pay in interest. Here, my daughter's landlord came to them and said, and they're best friends. The husband and my daughter's husband and the landlord, the guy, are best friends, childhood friends. And he said, listen, just so you know, we're going to put the house up for sale. You don't have to rush out, but you probably got 3 months before the house will sell. That's what the real estate told us. And they went through the process. My daughter finds an apartment in 3 days, and she goes back and tells the landlord. And the landlord said, well, we actually took it off the market. You don't have to go. Tell those people you're going to stay. And she's like, well, I can't. I put a deposit already. I signed a lease. We're not changing our minds. And the reason that they changed their mind to sell was they're at like 4% interest rate on the home they have, and they're going to be at 7%. So it's nearly double the interest, and they can't afford to do it because they're taking out a bigger mortgage because it's going to be a higher priced home. They're hoping to take some of the equity that's in there, but they still got to take out a bigger mortgage. And now they're increasing the interest portion of the mortgage by 65, 70%, whatever it is. They just can't afford to do it. And there's a lot of people that are stuck like that. If your job says, hey, you're in New York, if you want to keep your job, you got to move to Florida. You don't have a choice. Sell your New York house, buy a house in Florida. You're going to pay a higher rate, and you're going to give up a really good mortgage potentially here. And there are those though that are in Florida that don't have to leave. They just wanted to move to another part of Florida. They're like, you know what, I'm going to hang out here for another year or two. I'm not going anywhere. I'll wait. There's a lot of people out there that are stuck. Once that happens, there are two different expectations. One of them is going to be that the floodgates are going to open, housing prices are going to increase massively, and you'll start to see rates come down. The expectation, the conversation around it, I don't know, I haven't bought into it yet, but the conversation is this year we see 1 full point of rate hike is, I've heard from more than one person. That means that one of the three meetings, including the December meeting, they got to drop a half. This meeting, if Powell drops a half a point at this meeting, he's telling the world, have no confidence in us at the US. None at all. Because we've screwed up so much, we now have to react by the half a point. So I don't believe it. Could that happen in October or December? Maybe. I don't know. I think we'll see minimum half this year, but my expectation is we'll get to that 3/4. He's not going to have a choice in December. Now, we could get some really good economic reports in the next quarter, and it changes his mind. Powell could get fired. He could resign. Someone else goes in there that if they do, they're definitely getting more aggressive to getting rates lowered. I don't agree with the rates we had at 3% and all of that. That's too low. It's free money, right? I don't believe at that, but I think to get to a 4.5 to a 5.5% interest rate, is that doable? Yes, I think that's very doable. So how do you trade it, guys? What do you trade? Trips, I think mortgage rates actually ticked up when they did the last Fed cut. Yeah, I don't know. I've watched a little bit now, Trip, since Powell spoke, and we're seeing the bank rate drop. So banks are starting to come down a little bit. Again, in competition, they're starting to come just a little bit. It's not much. It's like 0.1 on the rate number. Maybe 0.2. It's very important to me. I am in a house buying mode right now in the Midwest. I'm buying multiple properties. I've done the realtor that we're working with said you're probably one of the top buyers this month for us for what you're doing. So they're rental properties, by the way. But are there housing shortages? Are there things like that? Yes. Yes, and you can take this and extrapolate it into multiple industries. And I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. While my wife and I were on vacation in Charleston, South Carolina, we went to an area called Somerville, South Carolina. We looked at a brand new development that Lennar is putting in. Lennar is a builder. LEN is their ticker symbol, right? We talked to the person that is there, and some of you may have heard me tell this before, but we talked to the person, the sales guy that was there, and he said, "Listen, it used to be there was 770 houses on the market at any given time in Somerville. It was 90 to 120 days to sell." He said, "Right now there's 110 houses on the market, and it takes 30 days to sell your house here." Oh my God. He said, "That's why Lennar has committed to put 5,000 homes in this community in the next 5 years." And they're not the only one. D.R. Horton is building there. Toll Brothers is building there. Watson is building. There's multiple builders over there. Lennar is just one of the bigger ones. Lennar, Toll, D.R. Horton. So my wife and I, and we were looking at a property there as a second home for us. And my wife and I come home, and all of a sudden I see a message come across my news feed that says Warren Buffett invests $800 million in Lennar and DR Horton. Most of it was into Lennar. And you dig into it a little bit, and you can see Lennar has taken a massive gain in the last 20 days or so, 15 days. So somebody knew. So housing. So how do you trade it, right? If we get rate cuts, I think housing is going to be a big market as a potential. So does that mean that the market's going to go up or down? Yes. Or sideways? Yes, it could. Right? You've got to pick your markets and plan your trade out effectively. Is a rate hike, a rate cut going to have the same impact on a tech stock or a chip stock, let's say, to get very specific, as it would on a housing stock? Possibly. Right? Why? What would be the difference of, I understand the rates. So rates come down, the buyer, the average person can afford the home, but why would it have an effect on a chip stock? Well, could Intel be sitting back right now and not putting new factories in because they can't afford the interest rate? Yes. Yes. And something's wacky with Intel with where they're going, and the government decided to not do a standard bailout, which I'm happy for. They took a 10% stake in Intel. 400 million shares, I think, of Intel now. 10% stake, I think it was 4 billion. So about 400 million shares-ish outstanding are what the government is giving them as a bailout. But is that legal? Brenda, I remember hearing that the government cannot legally own a publicly traded company, a business. But they did some of the same things back in the '08 debacle. So apparently, yes. If you remember, one of the car companies, they want them to do a GM or something, and they were like, "Go blow smoke. We're not giving you anything." I think Ford gave them shares, and they got them back when they paid the loan back, and that's really what it was. It was collateral. It was collateral, right? Is he going to do this with other companies too? I don't know. I don't listen. I would love the government to make investments in businesses that are publicly traded, and they get the dividend, and they can sell those shares after X years and so forth. But to buy and trade stocks, I don't really want to see the government involved with that. Will there be other presidents that do that? Unless you have a business person in there, man or woman, I don't think a politician is going to go that route. But I do appreciate not just giving these bailouts that just say, "Here, we're just going to throw money at you. Just here's all this money; it's all yours." Um, right? It's all yours. Take it. Right? That's a mistake. That was an Obama move of here's all this money and blah 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 blah. Right? So not really where I want to see us go as a company, as a country. And the Fed was part of it as well. It wasn't just the president. It was the Fed, Congress. The whole damn government is corrupt. Period. The end. Right? I'm still a big fan of what do you call it, the 100 politicians at the bottom of the sea. A good start. Right? I don't care who they are. Because none of them really care about my pocketbook whatsoever. Drain the swamp. There you go, Will. Very possible, Brendan. That is some of the concern. Brendan said leaves the door open a quid pro quo. You're right, it does. We did, but that was the quid pro, right? And the quo. We gave you money, you gave us shares. That should be it at that point. They can't do anything about it. They own the shares. They have no say in the company. They're not voting shares. They have no say. It's ownership, but just like I own the stock, they have nothing that they can do there. They really can't apply leverage. They can't sell the shares. They can't do anything like that. So I don't know if they can apply more leverage outside of them saying Intel saying I need more money. But look at the individual sectors like housing, like chips. If there's sectors that you follow, go into AI and say, how will a rate cut of 1 point over the next 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever you want to put in, affect this sector, this industry? Even better. Hey AI, what will affect here? You know what? Let's deviate for a moment. If we get a 1 point rate cut in the next 4 months, which sectors should I look to trade? Home construction, real estate, home builders benefit from lower mortgages. Real estate in general trends tend to do well, lowering finances. Small cap and cyclical, and here's the why. Technology and SaaS, rebound discounted cash flows, right? By the way, there is the where they got it from, okay, is in there. Financials and regional banks, and by the way, home construction, Lennar, right? Now, could be Home Depot too in there. Consumer staples, defensive positioning, right? Is it cheaper for the government to buy more defense mechanisms and so forth? Blah, 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 right? So, Brendan said, do you think there could possibly be a chance on teaching how to trade using AI? I already did it, Brenda. 2 hours of it on Thursday night last week. It was in our inner circle group. That's the only reason I'm logged into Perplexity here. I don't normally use it on this computer, as this is my trading computer. But there is, guys, if you go over to tradinglikeaboss.com and come down here to free AI trading prompts, this is like an 18-page document that we put together on 10 prompts that I use personally. I developed the prompts. Sean took the prompts and wrote all of the detail behind it, explaining how to use it and what to do and so forth, right? That will be a tremendous benefit if you haven't, and it's free. Everything on this page, tradinglikeaboss.com, everything on this page is free. So definitely take advantage of it. All right, we've got 5 minutes left, folks. What stocks do you want me to take a look at? There you go. Roman dropped in there first. Meta. I'm going to go ahead and just switch this over to all symbols so I can get what I need there for my data. Meta, let's see. All right, we're going to have to wait for it to, and any of you that are on YouTube or on the hub for Tradier, go ahead and put those comments in, and Andrew's in there. He'll pull them out and send them off to me as well. So Roman asking for Meta. Roman, you can't be in a better spot, right? Crappy move today, but why? The move on Friday was amazing, right? We pulled right back to that fib line in a neutral bias. We had a clear path up to resistance, and man, we took it. That sucker moved off of 732 up to 754 in one fell swoop, right? Great day for Meta. So today, we're taking it easy. What I wouldn't mind seeing with it, Roman, is I would not mind seeing, because of the way it's moved from last week, I would not mind seeing a small close above the 8, since we are pretty tight. If we measure the 821, the 8 out, Roman, in here. Yeah, we're only 13% away. We are super tight. I'd love to see a close above that 8, which would be that 13 percentile line, and then a pullback. Let me get rid of it. A pullback to that 754 level and bounce, get back above the 757, which is the 8, and that would what I'd be looking for. That's what I'd be looking for to take the entry on it, Roman, is right there. All right, so I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments. Dennis is asking for CMG. So as some of you know, we took CMG off of our power option trade list, which is why my fib doesn't extend any longer because we're not tracking it. And after its latest performance, I'm very glad that we did. So there's nothing here right now. Let's see, where's the fib from? December. So we're at 9, 8, 9, almost 9 months. There's nothing about it right. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Then so we're going to redraw the fib. I think we've got enough bounce now for a redraw. Let's do that. And let's see if that helps us any. Where's my higher one? Looks like this here. Whichever one of those candles is higher is where we want to draw off of. So our high is 58.42, and this one is 58.34. Yeah, so I was right. It's that black candle that's slightly higher. So you want to draw off of the 2nd of July. All right. We didn't really pull up here enough, 41 to 45, but we need a fib it in here. Oh, come on. We need a 118. All right. Okay. So actually, since we already talked about it, if you go back to tradinglikeaboss.com and you come over to Fibonacci, today's power indicator, you can download this. Go ahead, click on it. It's a 3-part series that gets emailed to you. It's about 20-minute video each day of the 3 days. A little bit of work to do at the end of the day, and then you've got all the analysis. It'll go over how I use fibs, fibbits, and all of that. Okay. All right. So Dennis, based on where we're at right now, I'm looking at a bearish move down to 41.18. That fail is good. Retest at 43.21 mañana. Tomorrow, next day, drop, and 41.18 is support. I'd probably be out at 41.75 or so would be my target for it. So I hope that helps. Tom said B. Who is B? I haven't looked at these guys in forever. I used to know all the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, who they all were, and now can't even keep up with them. So it looks like we're at a 52-week high right now, right? Which actually it looks like we're above it now. We broke the 2022 high, right? But we were in an overall sideways yuck pattern, even right up until this in here. If we snap a line right there and bring it back in, you can see what that line was off of these 3 tops. You can see how nicely we played in there. You've got a straight run. This is a Roman candle set up on this one, Tom. We're just going straight up in the air, which means straight down. I don't know the company, why they've gone up like this. What do they do, Barrack? Oh, Barrack Money. I don't know why they went up like this, what caused it. Did they hit a vein or something? But I would definitely be cautious with something that's that high. I don't tend to play stocks like this because I don't have any reference of where to go. I've got no real good pullbacks to reference off of for fibs. Even if I did, my fibs would be a little too tight. So it's hard for me to give an answer on this one. But if you've got specific knowledge on the sector and or the stock, then what I would be looking for is any pullback that gives us a bounce. So we can pull back to an 8 moving average and bounce, and you like the sector, you like the stock, that's what I would use for entries into the trade. When all else fails, we're at all-time highs, pullbacks, bounce, stair step, right? Y'all have heard me say it a million times. Make a move up, pull back. When you get the bounce, that's the entry in the trade. Run up, pull back, bounce, that's the entry in the next trade. The entry in the next trade, and so on and so on and so on. Okay? Yeah, Tom said up 246% on a practice trade. Nice. Good job. Very good job. Wow. Let's see. BTC is our next one. So Bitcoin and the rain went down, down, down. Here, this is interesting. What are we doing on Bitcoin right now? Let's see. I've got it on my phone. I have Robinhood is who I use for my crypto. Real easy to work with. There's cheaper places than this, but this is easy to work with. Bitcoin 112,489. So it's down a little bit. It was at 122, 125 or so. I saw it at 114 and jingle the other day. So we're down a little bit. If we put a fib on here, Brenda, which we should, that's what we're looking at. This moves 266 a day, 45, 49. So we need to put Fibbits on both of these, Brenda. So we need a negative 136 and a 118. So if we do break to the downside, 47.75 is next. If we bounce, we got the moving averages could get in our way of that 51.84. I'd probably be looking at 51 period would be my high side. SPY. We're in the middle on SPY right now. Until we can rectify that and get back to pull back to the 639, I would be careful. Day trades are totally different, Brenda. You can trade off of, break out above the previous day's high, I believe the previous swing high of today, or lows. You can do multiple things with that. But as far as taking a position with it, I'd be a little more cautious. QQQ. I'll try to get through some of these guys for you. There we go. So is that today? It is not. Come on. Come on. There you go. All right. Q's on the other hand, Brenda. I love the bounce. 581 is resistance. And then we've got confluence of the 8 and the 21. That's 569.83. So I love it. Patty's asking for NVIDIA. So we need a new fib. We just don't have a real good new place to draw from. I mean, that's my problem. We just don't. Yeah, we're gonna put in 1.618. Where is it? Did I miss it? There we go. We definitely need to split that in half, which is a fibit. We need to split that in half, which is called a fibit of a fibit. So we're looking at about 184 is our resistance here, Patty. So I like the breakout today. If you got that breakout, wonderful. I'd look at the 170, 184. And ironically, look at where we've been. All of the highs have been right up into that level. Tesla. Oh. All right, perfect positioning. It was at a rank of 2 today. If we look at a 5-minute chart today, Patty, look at the move, right? We fell down below. We came back up, retested off of this 1025 candle and bounced. So we're looking at the bounce off of the 339, 340 and a half. And right now we're at 346 quarter. So it's had a $6, almost $6 move today. That's what we're looking for. You're welcome, Patty. Um, let's see, RCL. All right. Yeah, Alex, I'm not going to do the NVIDIA fib, but RCL, you and Michael both had asked for RCL. So, oh, Royal Caribbean Cruises. Okay, so wonder why there are no lines on here because we're on a 5-minute chart. That's why. Everything we do is on dailies. Actually, this definitely needs a new fib. So let's do that right now. We're going to come off of that swing low. We're going to go up to whatever the highest high was, which I believe is right there. I believe, yeah, it is. Right? 32 and 55, 56. 32 and 55, we'll call it, is 30, 40, 50, 23, 21. Yeah, we probably need to split that one in half. So we're going to add a 118 in there. All right, so we're right there. So we're at a rank of 2 right now. Michael and Alex, we're at a rank of 2 on RCL right now. So I'd love to see them move back to the 332. That would be ideal for me. Or it breaks out of the, let me rephrase that. Or even better, hang around here for a couple of days. Let the 8 catch up and then break out, retest, bounce, take the breakout, and you're looking at 356 is resistance. So right about 355, 354 and a half, that's 354 even is going to be a target just down below. Perfect. I love when my answer matches yours. Alex said I took a bullish trade off of the 118 earlier, but it's a hair from the hitting the stop, which is the next fib. Okay. Um, got it, Will. Yeah, earnings coming up on Nvidia. Yeah, I don't remember the dates um, on it, Roman, but it's got to be happening. So, yeah, so their earnings are the 27th, I believe. You got to check it to confirm it. All right. Hey, everybody. I know I kept you a couple minutes over. Sorry about that, but great show. Hope you got some good stuff out of it. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. What your thoughts are. Those of you that are on YouTube and on the hub for Tradier, by all means, as you come back, you're welcome to come back in through the same way. You can catch us on any one of the other platforms that we're on, like through our Zoom or our YouTube. So if you guys don't want to come in through Zoom, you can always go in through there. But with that, have a great rest of your day, and I will see all of you at our next update. Now, I'm going to leave the room open for a couple of minutes because we dropped a few links in there, and I definitely want you to take advantage of things like the S&P 500, this SPX. $9, folks. What are you going to get? $9. How bad can it be, right? Actually, I did not want to do that. I wanted to leave the share going so that page would stay there. Sorry about that. And just kill the camera and then my mic. All right, everybody, have a good one. I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.